Alright guys, so now we have to do a bunch of prep work before we actually put this up on the window. So let me show you guys what you're roughly going to need, because again, this is my first time doing this, or maybe I didn't say again. This is my first time doing this again. So let me show you what you're going to need. So what we have here is something that apparently is very hard to find here where I live. This is what they call butyl tape or putty tape. And if you've ever taken an RV window down and pulled it back, you see how that sticky putty stuff behind it, that's what this is. Okay, it's supposed to be a waterproof sealant for windows and doors and stuff like that, anything that you put on an RV that you want to keep water from getting in. This is about I think this is a 50-foot roll here. Now I may use 2 of these rolls. I got 5 of these rolls, so this should be enough for the window we're going for the little strip we're going to do right here. A scraper of any kind, because you're going to have to clean up the actual connection here from the old camper to the new camper, and I have to also clean up the area that it's going to go on the camper there. The screws that I'm using here, these were the old screws here. As you can see, rusted, really fucked off. And these are the same screws. These are 8 by 1 inch screws here. They fit my drill bit that I'm going to be using, which I don't have out here right now. And you go, oh, actually I do have it, it's in here. I figure we're going to use probably about 20-25 of these. So plenty of these right here. Drill bits, because when we get ready to put our holes into the camper, I'm not going to put it in there fresh. I'm going to actually pre-drill holes and make sure that the screws have something to grab onto before they go in. Alcohol to help clean up the surfaces that we're going to be attaching them to, and a rag. Real simple, guys, real easy. So let's go ahead and start cleaning off our, oh, and the most important part is you need your rock guard.
Is this where we start?
So let me go ahead and get this all cleaned up for you. We'll start on the next level of cleaning this guy up. Alright guys, so now what we're going to do, we got our rock guard here, and I want you guys to come down and take a look here at what this rock guard surface looks like here. This is the actual hinge that's going to actually connect to the camper. Okay, on the back side is where I showed you where all your putty tape is. First thing you want to do is you want to get as much of this putty off of this back side here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that first. So you're just going to take a scraper of any kind. Doesn't matter. Try not to scrape yourself. That'll happen. Hopefully not. And you're just going to come in here. See what I'm doing here. Just going to scrape this off. I know you guys are wondering, how are you doing this with 2 hands and holding the camera? I'm not. I got my homie American Country Boy Rebel behind the camera here helping me out. So shouts out to him and his channel. Whatever the fuck he's doing on his channel. Anything American Country Boy Rebel?
None really.
Okay, good. See, that was a much better answer than Trump's up, wall is down. Remember that? Yeah, that was kind of douchey. Alright, back to what we're doing here. So basically, guys, what you want to do is you want to get all of the putty and any dirt, surface and stuff off of this in here. And once we do that, I'll bring y'all back to the next step here. Alright guys, so if you come in close here, I want you to take a look at what I've done. It's not the best job in the world, but all the putty, most 90% of the putty that was on here, as you can see, is all gone. What's left is just a remnants of it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some of this alcohol. Now this is just 91% isopropyl alcohol. You want the strongest kind you can get for obvious reasons, to help get whatever's on there off. You just come down here and you just kind of get in between the cracks and try to clean as much of this as you can possibly. As you see right here, I'm already starting to get some of this off of here. Like I said, all you want to do is you want to get this as clean as possible because you want the surface to be as clean as possible before you actually put your butyl tape on here to connect it to the RV. Okay, so I'm going to go down this entire rail and clean it up. When I'm done, I'll come back to you guys. Alright guys, so I've gone through here and I've cleaned this up the best I could. You come in here and look at this. So it's not absolutely completely clean, but it is free of most of that debris stuff that was on here. Now, a lot of you guys are particularly anal about getting every single aspect of putty and dirt off of here, but I am not one of those guys, so I'm not gonna really worry about it. But as you can see, it's a lot cleaner than it was prior to me starting this. All the way down here, you see it's much cleaner. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this guy ready. As we're still getting it ready, we're gonna get ready to go up on the window here. So let's go over to the window now. All right guys, so what we're doing right now is we're pre-fitting the rock guard on the window. It's not perfect, but I'm trying to get an idea of exactly where it needs to be. So I got American Country Boy Rebel holding it up for me. I want to show you something over here. We have these bottom clamps in here. What I want to make sure is that the space from the edge here to the clamp is the same on the other side. Okay? Look over here, and it's approximately the same on the other side. Now, you notice that this distance is a lot bigger than this distance, and that's not a problem. That's because we haven't gotten it straight up here. I'm just trying to make sure that we get everything lined up. Okay, so what's going to happen now is I'm going to get up here and we're going to get a lined up approximate position for this for this rock guard hinge up top. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, now this thing slides left and right, so I can actually move this hinge over if I needed to even the sides, even the distance between here and here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to get the points lined up here, and I'm going to mark with a marker where it needs to line up here and where it needs to line up over there. All right, so let's do that. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so what we've done is kind of place the top rail where we want it to go at. If you look right here, I've drawn a corner. It's approximately 3 inches from this side and approximately 3 inches from the other side over there. So we've marked the corners on each end so that when we get ready to screw this in, we set it up in these corners and we can put our first screw in on each side. Okay? Now I'm not worried about the bottom because this rail up here is a sliding rail. So when we get ready to do the bottom hinges, we can just slide this thing until we get it to where we want it to be on the bottom and screw it in. So here's the plan. First thing we're going to do is going to take this down. We're going to put our butyl tape on the back side of this rail. Okay? Then we're going to put it up here, and then we're going to stick it up here. And then what I'm going to do is pre-drill my hole for this side here and that side over there. I'm going to throw a screw in here and a screw in there. And then we can let it go, and I can come in here and put all my other screws in here as we go. So that's the plan. So let's go ahead and see if we can get that done. All right, guys. So now that we got it fit up on the window, what we're going to do is we're going to take our butyl tape or putty tape, and we're going to line it across the back side of this guy here. Now let me show you guys what butyl tape really is. All it is it's putty. And like I said, if you've taken an RV window down before, you've seen this sticky stuff and the stuff I was cleaning off the back side of that hinge. Is simply putty tape. This stuff is hard to find in hardware stores. I don't even think Lowe's carries it. I think they carry like putty tape, like a wider, like waterproof tape. Not this. I had to go to a special RV store, RV and mobile home store in Muskogee, Oklahoma to get this one. Very happy. Now this is 3/4 of an inch. I would have liked to have had an inch so that I can cover all of this. What I'm going to do is I'll go across the top of this once we do it with some caulking to kind of help seal it. But for right now, this will work. Now, once you look at this, when this goes up here, it's going to go on like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my butyl tape and I'm going to put it right across here. So I'm going to go off the edge And you're just gonna bring it over here, just kind of press it down, get it to stick on there. Just go right on down the line there. Now, it won't actually like duct tape stick to it now. Once you put screws in it and get pressure on it, it makes the seal that you want to have. But you want to catch it on the edge all the way to the end. And then when you get to the end, you're going to cut it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear it right there. Okay? Now there's a little bit of an overhang here, but don't worry because that can get cut off when we trim it up once we get it up there. So if you look here, guys, the butyl tape is on there. All I'm doing now is just running my hand across it, making sure that it's got a good connection to the current surface on the other side there. And when we get ready to put this up there, we'll get ready to take this tape off, stick it up there, and then we'll do the same thing. We'll press it across the back side here, and then we'll go ahead and start our pre-drilling for our screws. All right, so now we've got our butyl tape on there. Let's go ahead and get this guy set up there. All right, guys, so right before we put this up there, I want to show y'all something real quick. In here, if you look, there's a little piece of trim right here that's in between the metal parts. And what that does is that gives like a pressure point for this to sit up against so it doesn't bang up against this metal and flop and break all over the place. What I'm doing, and I've done most of it already, but what I'm doing right now is some of it was out. So I'm just taking my putty knife here and I'm just pushing it back down in there. Because let me explain something to you. It's a lot easier to do it here on the ground than it is to do it while it's connected to the RV. You take a chance of actually breaking it up there. So I'm just re-securing it here in the window seal so that it stays. Like I said, that's like a pressure point so that it keeps it where it's supposed to be. That way it won't come apart. Now, more than likely after a couple of travels, there's that word again, Camomeleon traveling with the camper, stay tuned. It's gonna come loose and it's gonna do this, it's gonna do that. And of course, by that time I would have already fixed this or adjusted it or put a new one up there. But that's all I'm doing right now is going through here, wherever it's poking out, I'm just kind of pushing it back down in there into place. Now, if you're using a used one like I am, you want to be very careful because this can be brittle. So you don't want to go like I did the air conditioning vent up there. I don't know if you've seen that video or not, but that's coming soon. It could be brittle and old, and as soon as you lean on it, it could snap in half, and then this whole fucking process is useless. So I just want to be careful with that. Now, another thing I want to show y'all is you see here, you have these little cushions right here on the metal. Now I don't have anything this thick, but later on I'm going to put some cushions in between here, and that's going to keep also this thing from bouncing all over the place. Alright, so since we did that, now we're ready to put it up. It's your boy,